Mr. Uwa Agbonile, CEO of InfoWARE, nice to have you to discuss around this partnership between InfoWARE and Proshare on market development. We know the pedigree of InfoWARE in terms of providing that technology that's responsible for over 50% of transactions in the market, which is quite a feat. And of course, Proshare, specialized financial information intelligence hub, known for creating that access to information from institutional investors to the retail end. Let's first begin with how this will enhance transparency, especially at a time where we still want to restore lots and lots of retail investors back to the market who have lost that confidence post-2008 market crisis.
For a very long time, we've been looking for an opportunity to work with Proshare. I mean, Proshare is the most preeminent in terms of integrity, news and research provider within the capital market literally for several years. So with Proshare's integrity and the kind of high quality financial reports that they produce, we've been working on our side in terms of providing financial transparency, easy visibility into the market, not just within Nigeria, but outside of Nigeria. So the partnership was, I would call it kind of a symbiotic, very good relationship. And talking with your chairman, he's always been very passionate about this, and we are aligned in that. So we looked at how we can work together to enhance the capital market for the benefit of the operators itself, and of course, Nigeria as a whole, in order to provide that transparency, that visibility into our market that will make it even more easy to access and also to invest in. So that was the genesis of it. And it was a good alignment in terms and a complementary system where we have the technology, it has the data and the analytics and the expertise in that area. So InfoWARE with its market data terminal provides the technical analysis, the raw data and analysis that's in there, and then the interpretation of that data, the fundamental analysis and the research prowess that Proshare has. We mesh them together and then we create something that's bigger than the sum of the parts itself.
And so, Mr. Uwa, in the age of digitization, how does this revolutionize market participation? Because you see that beyond what is happening in terms of initial public offerings and various other activities in the market, how is this notable terminal and, of course, the pedigree of integrity in financial information, this asymmetry going to really help deepen market participation?
That's a great question. That's a fantastic question, actually. So in this age of digitization, so where it really comes into play is that if you step back and look from outside in, there's always been a somewhat of this perception within the Nigerian market that somehow some people have an advantage in terms of information. And of course, digitization and the capital market and the age we live in, it's all about information. Whoever has access to that information and whoever has the quicker access to that information definitely has an advantage, right? So the collaboration we're having right now, a key portion of what it does is to solve that impedance mismatch that exists between investors and the capital market. Meaning, with Proshare's prowess and the data that it provides, bringing accessibility to the overall capital market, to both the experts, whether you're a broker, you are an asset manager, or you are a retail investor, or even if you're a student, right? Having direct, immediate access to the same information creates a level playing field for all participants in the market and ultimately improves the integrity, both the real integrity and the perception of integrity of the capital market, which would ultimately benefit all participants. This is a case of the rising tide moving all boats. So the collaboration becomes extremely important with respect to that. So summary, digitization, clearly very important. Access, quick and easy access, very important. And this collaboration will aid in that.
And you know that to get informed decision-making, you need to have real-time access to data. So this collaboration, how does this create that access to comprehensive data, real-time, for the end users down to retail investors?
As we go along, we will show the market exactly what this does in terms of actually showing some examples of it. But I'll describe it, for example. So what we've done, right, is that we've integrated the Proshare information directly into the entry point of the market data terminal, which is called the market view. Now, the market view actually shows real-time information as the price that changes completely 100% real-time. You see it's a terminal, right? Now, imagine you as an investor, you open and you go there and say, pick any stock, could be maybe Zenith Bank or MTN or whatever, and you're looking at the activity there. You can see, for example, trading activity is going on. You can see the bid offer. So based on, let's assume you're even a professional investor, based on a bid offer, you're looking at how to take a position in the market, right? Then right there and there, you see the analyst, Proshare analyst button. You click on it, and it will immediately show you all of the Proshare analysis that relates to the stock that you're looking at. So you're looking at the bid offers in real time. It's changing as you look. You're looking at the trading activity in real time. You're looking at the overall market view in real time. And then you also now can look and say, okay, this is the kind of analysis that Proshare provided on this stock. Very detailed for that matter. You download it, you can look at it right there. And if you want to trade it, you trade it. So it's a complete 360-degree look. So it's not just informational, and this is where the collaboration and our terminal provides an advantage that's unmatched. Most other systems you can see, but you have to go somewhere to trade. This is a case where you can see, you can analyze both technical and fundamental, and then you can take action right there and then if you want to trade it.
This is really interesting, coming at a time where we've seen more foreign terminals dominating the space. With what is happening now between InfoWARE and Proshare, how does this further deepen the Nigerian market participation through our, homegrown technology that is now going global, and also encourage, like you've said, asset managers, institutional investors, and of course, even the retail end, because now we're looking at Nigerian-made quality going global?
So it leads to a number of things. So let me try and piece this out. So you mentioned like the foreign terminals and stuff like that. Now, the foreign terminals, they have a problem that we set out to solve fundamentally. There is a cost problem that they have, which is that it's very expensive to the point where, except for the most biggest set of customers, and even then those ones have to limit it, there is literally no access, which creates an exclusivity which reduces financial inclusion, which is a problem for a country and an emerging economy like Nigeria. It also means that it reduces the ability for even other players to play within our capital market. That's one. Number two is that the foreign terminals, you can see, but you really can't trade. You still have to go through these either chat or go talk to somebody. So there's still another impedance mismatch that's there. Again, which restricts this into a few players. That's key here, a few players, which creates distortions in the market, right? A market is supposed to be open, free, and fair, but when you have only a few exclusive players playing on it, then it creates distortions. So what we've done here, and of course, there's also availability of information, which Proshare helps us to solve. Now, what we've done is that the model, the financial model for this is what we call pay as you use. Pay as you use, not subscription. And not so even a student, right, means that they can first of all come into the system, and a lot of the facilities they are free. So again, you understand what I mean? We want to promote financial inclusion, and this is something that I believe your chairman and InfoWARE we've always been extremely passionate about, because I understand Proshare is also going to provide a number of these reports. Some of them are actually going to be free, so it's not everything you have to pay for. So we both have a very, very stated and aligned goal of promoting financial inclusion. So because the system is pay as you use and a lot of the facilities is free, it invites all comers. That's step number one. Step number two is that now, even when you go there, even when you come into the system, because it's pay as you use, you can simply put in some small amount there, and for the reports that are far more detailed and has any kind of cost implication to it, you pay for it only as you need it, right? Again, it means that now we can reach thousands, hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of users, instead of the exclusive niche of something like maybe just 25 or 30 users that can afford these foreign terminals. So conceptually, we are looking at this thing from a totally different model. And the model is to go for a mass audience that creates a fair and streamline the market to everybody within Nigeria and within the Pan-African continent.
Oh, that's very interesting. Let's look at how it further enables market efficiency, because that's one area that has always been a major concern. Technology is now the big major thing. I mean, even the last AGM of the NGX, the ratified Group Managing Director and CEO of the Nigeria Exchange Group, Mr. Temple Pola, said they are going digital. That's digitization, digital transformation drive, whereby they can even create that seamless opportunity for market activities, going digital, using your mobile app and all that. So through this partnership, are we going to see innovations around that mobile app where people, for example, now we're looking at the banking recapitalization, that's for example, and several banks are going to come through to do their rights issues and all that. Through this partnership, we're going to see opportunities where people can also track to the technology performances and quickly take that decision, like you've said, around those people that may want to do the right issue.
Okay, in terms of the exchange, right? So always partner with the exchange as much as we can to increase, participation and all that. And our intent, I mean, we clearly, not just the NGX alone, but even the other exchanges, including NASD and FMDQ and the rest of them, is we intend to continue to work with them because it's an entire ecosystem to advance this digitization that's going on. And the digitization is really inevitable. If you talk to investors, what they want is direct access. So you also mentioned mobile apps. So one of the key things is that InfoWARE already has mobile apps that cover the entire platform. We have a mobile app called India Trader on Google, on the Android Play Store, and also on iOS. Both of those apps can launch into this terminal, which means if you have those apps, you can have direct access to this terminal and also to the Proshare analytics. So whether you're on mobile or you're on the desktop, you're totally covered, right? And one of the other things that we did was to make this thing, again, from a technology standpoint, because we understand our environment, especially with respect to sometimes poor internet connectivity and all that, to be resilient to that, right? It kind of checks, it will show you whether you are connected or not to ensure that the data you're receiving is exactly what it is and up to date. You understand? So yes, now there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to connect the dots between the different players, reduce the impedance mismatches between them so that we can provide even more, a bigger benefit to the entire ecosystem. So there's work to be done there, but the collaboration between Proshare and InfoWARE is a very, very major and significant part of that connecting the dots. It's going to be easier to bring in the other players and connect the other dots once we kickstart this collaboration. Because information is ultimately, the first people call it now, they call it information is the new oil of our age, right? And this is why our collaboration really brings that to fore.
Now, Mr. Uwa, even privately we've discussed over the years, and I must say it's something to be proud of. Two Nigerian brands doing this great work to improve market efficiency. But the issues around cost, the terminals, like you rightly said, we know people are trying to do the foreign terminals, the costs involved. So in terms of the cost, how cost effective is this that it will begin to even get the attraction of other players who may have been using some foreign terminals before and say, okay, now let's work with this partnership, with this initiative from InfoWARE and Proshare, that this is much more valuable in terms of cost effectiveness?
In terms of cost effectiveness, there is simply no comparison. There just is no comparison. So let's use numbers to illustrate, right? As we both know, one of the major players in the market, right, their terminal is something like, I think they even increased the price recently to over $2,000 a month, and you have to pay annually. So we're talking about close to $30,000 per annum, right, minimum. If you look at that, right, apart from probably the very, apart from the very largest banks, and even those ones will have to restrict the number. I was talking to one of the people that, one of these players, and what I came to understand is that because they had to cut back, so they have to start doing sharing, they have to start sharing. So you see, even within these large organizations, there's now information asymmetry that's going on. The information asymmetry means that only the top analysts now have access. The bottom ones are effectively blind. They really don't have access to data, useful data to work with, which means that the information that they are providing, the research analysis that they are doing downstream, is getting, the quality of it is getting worse and worse and worse. You understand? So, which is just bad end to end for our ecosystem. That's where we come in. First of all, like I said, there's a large portion of this thing that's free. Anybody can register, anybody can see a lot of information there. That's step number one. Meaning nobody, literally nobody is ostracized. Everybody can play. And I keep using that word, from the student, from the lowly student who can afford, no, I don't think any student can afford $20,000, $30,000 to the highest guy. That's number one. Number two is that as you get more detail, because all of the analytics, all of this stuff is there, as you get more, now, even if you're an institution and you can still do some affording, you only pay as you use. You understand? You only pay as you use. So if you find something useful, you can try it out and you can pay. And if you don't find that useful, you can continue to use some other aspect until there's a need or you can afford it, right? So affordability, that pay as you use model is critical. Is super critical. And this is where the collaboration and the alignment of values between Proshare and InfoWARE plays into this. That this is not just about us trying to even make money from the get-go, because at the very beginning, we are offering these services for free. I mean, I'm extremely amazed. A lot of the content that Proshare is providing from the get-go is actually free. You understand? It's free. I mean, how many people do that? So I absolutely want to commend Proshare and his management for that extremely thoughtful concept that they have. So they are in this thing for the long game. InfoWARE is in this for the long game. We know for a fact that if we benefit our ecosystem, we would also benefit. So it's not just about what we're going to get from it, but what the entire ecosystem gets from it. And the rising tide moves all boats. If we can grow the whole system in such a way that the tide rises, everybody will benefit and we will grow along with it. So yeah, so in summary, our cost structure was very meticulously designed to benefit everybody. Everybody can play in this. It's not a case of the exclusive club, it's everybody. We intend to reach millions, not hundreds of people, but millions of people in Nigeria, in diaspora, and across the entire Pan-African region and across the world.
That's really remarkable, because I want to look at how this is going to change the class of investors. You know, we have about 2 million investors registered, captured. That's less than about 1% of our population, debated population of 200 million plus. And the average age is 51. So with this partnership, how does this begin to revolutionize the class of investors so that the average age can become, maybe say 22, 25, like you said, the students, and that changes the whole dynamics. We're looking now at the next generation, not the ones that are older. Everyone is inclusive, like you said.
Exactly. That's a fantastic question. It goes back to what I said earlier on about the current situation is more like an exclusive old boys club, in which only a few, quote unquote, exclusive old boys have access to what it takes to participate in this market. So with what we've done, so we actually did quite a number of studies over the last 5 years. So one of the questions we asked was, okay, why is it that young people, they are not participating in the capital market? I mean, there were all kinds of answers initially. Some of them was, oh no, these young people are risk adverse, right? That they don't like risk. They just want fixed returns. And then another one that came up was that, oh, the onboarding process is too convoluted. Now let's piece them out one by one. The one about risk turns out to be totally debunked and meritless. The reason is Nigeria was the second largest crypto market over the last several years, right? We all know that. What is one of the highest risk investments ever? Crypto, right? Crypto. Who is playing in the crypto space the most? Young people. Another area where people participate a lot, young people especially, is the FX, trading FX. If you sit down and ask these young people and ask them how many people have actually made money, you end up finding out not that many actually make money. These things are much higher risk. So it's not being risk averse. It wasn't. So the question I started asking of people, why do you participate in these markets when there is the Nigerian capital market where that is far less risky, and at least these are valid companies, they are not ephemeral, they are not vaporware. Part of the answer in summary boils down to two major things. There's a perception problem that we can't participate, is not for us. That exclusive club problem, exclusive old boys problem. The second thing is there's actually not readily available information. It's not. I mean, brokers can send out things like price lists and stuff like that. There's a way that is, but they also send it to the people they already know, not to the people that are outside. You understand? If you look at crypto and the rest of them, there are things like analytics, which these young people like, charts and all that stuff. So when we looked at that, we realized that, okay, no, the problem is being approached in a slightly wrong way. So we set out to solve that problem end to end. And that's why we designed our terminal to really attack that problem. There is analytics. There are clear signals that we have, like simple buy-sell signals based on a whole range of things. There's all these analytics like RSI, MACD. You can do charts. You have charts that can cover all the way to the last 20 years, all the equities listed. We have all the financial statements from all the companies listed for more than 2 decades. You understand? So with these young people, it means they can go there, the same kind of capabilities they have with crypto and FX, they now have it at their fingertips. That's critical. At their fingertips, whether on mobile, on desktop. So that is that thing that we're now. With our collaboration with Proshare, it means that apart from the technical analysis now, they also have in-depth, trusted, fundamental analysis that says, okay, I have done all my stuff, I've done all my charting and all that stuff. Okay, now let me, synchronize it with what trusted financial analysts are saying about the market as a whole and about specific stocks. So that is the picture, and that's the synergy we're bringing to bear within the ecosystem.
Very interesting. Now let's look at data security, because you know that digitization also has its own risk. So how are we prepared to manage the cyber risk, data security of people, and of course, ensuring that we are well secured from exposures to cyber risk?
When it comes to data security, our systems are probably the most tested systems, at least within the Nigerian ecosystem right now. Majority of the brokers already use our platform. Over the last 3 years or 4 years, seven are top 10 each year use the InfoWARE platform. And by our calculations, about 80% of all the trades of the top 10 pass through our system. So what does that say? It means that, and by the way, these brokers, by regulation, they are supposed to do these penetration tests every year. At least some of them do 2 or 3. Apart from some of them having their parent company, especially the banks, also doing it. So our systems goes through something like maybe more than 50 to 60 penetration tests every year, right? We also do our own penetration tests to validate that our system end to end is totally secure. Then we've done this NDPRO certification, and you see it on our website to show that data privacy is covered. So security is something, of course, from what I just said, now we take extremely seriously, because we know the importance of it, not just the importance, but the potential impact and risk it represents if InfoWARE is not secure. So when it comes to security, there is absolutely no doubt, right? So let me just summarize it this way. There are more than 50 to close to 100 penetration tests that happen on InfoWARE systems every year. Those tests, we don't even have a choice, because our customers are required to do it based on our software provisions. And those tests ultimately hit our systems, and we have to pass all of them. And we have consistently passed all of them. So I'd like to give an assurance, a very clear assurance to the market that when it comes to security and data security, we are unmatched. And I don't say that, I say that with all humility.
Mr. Uwa, as we wrap up, I'd like to talk about ripple effects beyond borders. You talk of Africa too. And how does this connect us to Africa? Because the big thing now is not just Nigerian markets. We're seeing the innovations around the Pan-African payment and settlement system. We're also seeing the Africa Exchange Linkage Project, which of course Proshare has hosted several forums on that. How does this connect, and in a way that Otu Abasi can trade in stock, let's say in South Africa, seamlessly using this collaboration between InfoWARE and Proshare?
We have a presence in 3 African countries right now, and with our goal is to extend it. We have Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya, and our goal is to extend the footprint and to not and in improving that footprint to create an ecosystem in which each of these markets can see each other very clearly and participate. Nigeria is still one of the largest markets, South Africa and others, but Nigeria is still one of the largest markets there. So what our technology does right now is to provide, again, remember what I said about the foreign terminals and stuff like that and their cost. That cost becomes cost prohibitive for the Pan-African countries to want to trade Nigeria because of lack of visibility. If you're using those terminals, it's almost not going to be worth it because of the cost of it. But with our terminal right now, it means the cost is not prohibitive anymore. Not only that, for foreign markets, you mentioned ALP. ALP is another very major one. For foreign institutional investors to trade us, they need information. They need both the real-time information. They also need the analysis, right? That has always been lacking. And again, Proshare is an expert. It has been severely lacking. And to have all of this in one single place, you understand, that is so important, in one single place where you can go to this place, you can see the real-time market information, you can look at historical information, and then you can look at also fundamental analysis historically. So it solves this massive impedance mismatch. And our goal is simple, is to replicate these things to every African market to have the same type of thing. So that if you're in Nigeria and you want to trade other African markets, you can. If you're in other African markets, you want to trade in Nigerian market, you can. With super ease, with zero impedance. That's the end. And I believe our partnership is a major step forward in that direction.
All right, Mr. Uwa Agbonile, democratizing information across board from institutional to retail and even students, providing that platform that is cost effective, and of course, going across Nigeria through Africa, the prospects are very bright, and it's very interesting to see that in our time, Nigerian companies going global, InfoWARE and Proshare collaborating to deepen our market and of course, increase wealth opportunities for everyone. Thank you for this session, Mr. Uwa Agbonile, CEO of InfoWARE, and wish you all the best as we go on this journey of collaboration.
Like you said, I would like to add that one more thing again, and this is another very critical thing you've mentioned a couple of times, and I want to re-emphasize it, which is that one of the things that's happening here is a collaboration between Nigerian companies. It's unfortunately, it's not as often as it should be. And this is the kind of collaboration that I'm really grateful for. And I want to really say I commend and I applaud Proshare and also, in effect, my team for pushing this thing forward. And we are hoping to see more of this time. And hopefully we'll serve as an example to other companies in Nigeria that, look, we need to, join together, collaborate together so that we can all move forward much faster.
Thank you. Thank you once again. Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.